Hey guys, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andrew Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bittner and Ash Paulson to discuss a brand new retro track coming to Mario Kart 8 in the form of DLC, and it's Yoshi Circuit from Mario Kart Double Dash. So let's get started. Alright guys, this is kind of a surprise, which is something I've been saying a lot recently, but Nintendo just dropped a brand new trailer for another track coming to Mario Kart 8, and it's, as I said, Yoshi Circuit from Double Dash. So, you know, we're going to start off with our knee-jerk impressions, and of course for me this is awesome because it's a Double Dash track, and I adore everything from Double Dash. But what do you guys think?
No, it looks great. There aren't any real major changes to the track other than the visual upgrade, but as far as visual upgrades go, it looks gorgeous. I mean, this looks like just a nice standard track for you to play around in, and yeah, there's really not too much to say about it because if you played that original track at all, that's pretty much what you're getting here. They even showed the same shortcut that's available in the trailer itself.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. As soon as I saw this, Andre, I knew you'd be super excited because it's Double Dash. But this is one of my favorite tracks from Double Dash, so I'm really happy to see it come back. And yeah, like Derek said, it doesn't really look changed. It just looks beautiful. I mean, it looks like it fits right alongside all the other, on-disc Mario Kart 8 tracks. You can't tell any difference. I mean, it looks great, and I'm loving the remix of the music.
Yeah, the track looks fantastic. I don't know, I mean, the redone music is good. I will say it still reminds me of how Double Dash probably has the worst music of all the Mario Kart games.
Sure.
But that's perhaps the only thing from Double Dash I didn't love. But yeah, this track just looks visually fantastic. As you said, Ash, blends right in with the other tracks. I do like with all the extra shrubbery they've added. It looks like Yoshi's gotten a lot hairier since since we last saw him. Yeah, so there's a couple interesting things about this track. And actually, for one, is the fact that, as Derek mentioned, it's pretty much completely unchanged. Besides the graphics, they aren't, there's really no gameplay differences as far as I can tell. And I'll be going through this with a fine-tooth comb in an upcoming analysis. But for now, it looks like the exact same track. But the more interesting thing is that this is actually a track that's been remade before in Mario Kart DS, which means they're breaking their rule of only remaking a track once.
Yeah, I had noticed that too, and that just kind of rekindles my hopes for Airship Fortress DS, because that is the one DLC track I want from either of these DLC packs.
Yeah, it opens the floodgates for just really any track we've seen before to reappear in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most exciting part about this, is that right now there's no limits. They're we don't have to say, okay, this has, this track's never been remade, so it'll probably show up. No, every single track from Mario Kart could be DLC, or they can craft completely new ones, as we've seen with the tracks for Animal Crossing and Zelda.
Right.
Even though we haven't seen the Zelda track yet. So that's kind of exciting that they're just okay, this is a fresh start. You sort of reboot the reboot, and let's see what we can do here. And I'm very curious to see what other tracks they pick, because so far this is a really good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, are there any other tracks off the top of your head that you would want to see now that the floodgates are completely open? And we have Airship Fortress, as Ash mentioned. Any others you guys would want to see?
I guess the most obvious one would probably be Waluigi Pinball. Everybody loves that course. They've already remixed the music. I think it's something everybody would love to see, especially with the design of Mario Kart 8. That's the first one that comes to my head. But what about you, Andre?
Oh well, I mean, come on, you know where I'm going with this. Baby Park, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, we already got that with the Excite Bike track.
Maybe. But no, there's no topping Baby Park, and now that I know it's a possibility, I'd be super stoked. I mean, Double Dash is actually a game that hasn't been represented that much in Mario Kart 8, so I love that we're getting this track, and I'm hoping we'll get more. I mean, I already did that whole video for Wario Coliseum as well, and I think that's one that would work perfectly here. And speaking of which, I'm a little bit upset that Nintendo didn't say the track was coming first, so I could do one of my videos. But how could they update it? Even though, as it turns out, they don't. They haven't updated it at all, besides visually, so I guess it didn't end up mattering that much, but...
Well, looking at it, I think maybe this is an upload from Nintendo of Japan, and there right now it's the morning. So I think that if this is how we're going to get Mario Kart 8 DLC track reveals, we can probably expect the future ones as well to get revealed around 7 p.m. our time again.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you guys want to mention about this track itself? Like whether fond memories or details you noticed about this time?
One cool little detail I noticed was that when in a little clip where Yoshi takes a shortcut through the waterfall, he's wet after that. Which, I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it's a nice little detail.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they added a whole waterfall in front of the shortcut there, which is one of the many touches they've added to this track.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't there, was it?
Right. No, it was just a straight up jump.
Yeah, I totally forgot. So then, they added that, and that's kind of a cool little touch.
It is.
I get, and they probably expanded that town quite a bit to have all the Toads and everybody else hanging around. So, it does give that Mario Kart 8 feel with all these little touches that they've done. Mm-hmm. Just, nothing major done to the track. We don't have any anti-grav sections or anything like that.
So, I guess, well, how do you guys feel about that? Because I am just a little bit bummed that they, gameplay-wise, it seems to be the same.
It doesn't really bother me. The anti-gravity is really cool when it's used in Mario Kart 8, but I don't necessarily really miss it when it's not in a track. So, right. I don't really think that it needs to be in every track, and I have every expectation that the new tracks, like the original, like the Zelda track or Animal Crossing track or whatever they're going to bring us that are original tracks, are going to have anti-gravity sections. So I'm okay with it.
Well, I guess my question is then, do you think it would made more sense for them to remake a track that might have lent itself better to anti-gravity or flying, for instance, instead of one that they really couldn't fit in there, I guess?
So basically, you mean like Airship Fortress?
There you go.
To which my answer is yes. Yeah. That would have been a better idea.
I really have no problems with this one because there's none of the gimmicks that got added into the later Mario Kart games, but sometimes simple is good, and it just give you that much of a variety because you play those gimmicks so often that it's almost kind of nice to go back to the more simpler times with Mario Kart. And I think a lot of people's one of their favorite tracks in the game, at least mine and yours, Andre, is Moo Moo Meadows. And there's only a couple examples. It's like one example of hang gliding. Right. In that entire track.
That's
and it's extremely basic and pretty much exactly like it was in the Wii version before that. So no, I really don't think it needs to get these upgrades, and it's nice to just have a vanilla track.
Well, right. Why mess with perfection, right?
Right. But I will say that if this works great on its own as part of a set, but if the next track we get is like N64 Luigi Circuit, then I'll be disappointed because then that's kind of too vanilla, unchanged tracks. I think this works as one kind of regular track by itself, but I want to see some variety as well.
Oh, what will be awesome? The Luigi Circuit track from Double Dash, because there's a one part where the track doubles back on itself. Could you imagine they turn that into an anti-gravity section if you hit people like coming at you for a speed boost?
That would actually be, I could see that. That'd actually be really cool.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm actually not the biggest fan of that track, but that would make it a little more enjoyable to me.
I like to think so. Now, there's something else I'm wondering about this track, and that is where it's going to fit, or which cup it's going to be in. Because we already know it's part of the first pack of DLC content, and we've seen the Grand Prix icons for both cups coming to it, being a Yoshi Egg and a Triforce. Now, obviously, you would think it would go under the Yoshi Egg Circuit, but the weird thing is the Yoshi Egg Circuit is positioned above the Triforce one in the new track section, whereas the Triforce is in the old track section, which seems like it's backwards, because I'm pretty confident the Triforce Cup is going to have the new Zelda track. Doesn't make sense, because that's in the retro section, so it seems like either they screwed up, and they're going to be reversed in the final game with the Yoshi Egg being in the retro track and Triforce in the newer one, or they are just not paying any attention at all and intermixing retro and new courses within the same cup now for the DLC.
Is it sad to think that I think them messing up is the more likely option here?
I actually think that they are just kind of mixing them for the DLC cups. That's kind of the idea I've had from the get-go. As soon as I saw the Triforce Cup in the retro section, I just kind of figured, okay, well, maybe they're just kind of playing with the rules for the DLC cups, because DLC tracks at all is kind of breaking the rules for Mario Kart. So maybe they're just like, screw it, and we're just gonna, we're gonna put retro tracks with new tracks and not really even care, and Cash are gonna be living with dogs. It's gonna be total chaos.
I can't see that happening, mainly because of my experience with the Master Quest DLC with Hyrule Warriors. Even this, they added those new levels within Sia's Tale, and right there they have it just branching off from the points where roundabout where it take a place chronologically. As much as the chronology of that game is kind of weird with Sia, but no, it's still around those times and they kind of work. So I have a feeling that they usually do a pretty good job of keeping things in order. And they rearranged everything to make it still look nice in Hyrule Warriors and everything else like that. So I have a hard time believing Nintendo would just like, just toss it in there. It doesn't matter. That's why I think it's mainly a mistake, but who knows? I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme, but it is sort of an odd curiosity.
It definitely is odd. So it'll be curious to see what happens in the in the game when the DLC actually does come out. Now there's one other thing revealed in this trailer, and that appears to be a new kart body based on a Jeep. Now here it looks like it's actually colored to Tanooki Mario, but that might just be because Tanooki Mario is driving it, or maybe it actually is his Jeep. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Although, there's a screen cap I saw from the back of it, and it does seem to be colored to Tanooki Mario, because the spare tire has the same stripes as his tail.
That's true. That's a good point.
But yeah, so otherwise, though, it does seem to be kind of a strangely generic Jeep-looking vehicle. It doesn't really seem really themed after anything.
Yeah, and they could have at least just slapped the Tanooki tail onto it and called it a day, right?
Well, that's pretty much what they did with Cat Peach's car. They have her driving right next to him in that case. With that little tail around, on her car. So that's what makes me think this is a Tanooki Mario Jeep, even though it doesn't really have the decals or the details that we're used to when it comes to a kart being themed to a character.
Right.
In general, though, as a Jeep, it's sort of an odd choice, but I guess it works. I mean, we got Mercedes-Benz cars, we have ATVs now. Why not throw in some Jeeps?
That's true. You know what? I just confirmed that it is in fact a new kart body instead of just being colored to Tanooki Mario. Because on the side you can see Mario's emblem for the character, but on the back they have a Tanooki tail icon instead.
Okay.
Alright, well, do you guys have any final thoughts or any final comments you want to give about this track or anything else about the DLC in general before we wrap it up here?
Just that I continue to think that Tanooki Mario and Cat Peach are completely half-baked ideas for characters. I do not care one bit that they're coming as playable characters in the DLC. Link's super cool, Isabelle's fine, but come on, like, Cat Peach and Tanooki Mario, I don't know, I'm not feeling it.
I feel the same way about them as I do with Dr. Mario and Smash Brothers. They should just be skins. Like, do like what they did with Yoshi and Shy Guy in this. You choose Mario, then you choose whatever suit you want to wear, and then you go on from there.
Completely agree. I'm just not feeling, these separate versions of Mario and Peach as different characters, especially considering we already have Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach.
Right.
Yeah, it just seems very extraneous, but everything else about this DLC is looking quite good. The track selection so far has been excellent, and we still don't know them all. We've still got quite a few to find out yet, and it does look like worthwhile DLC, which is good because I already kind of bought it. It is worth getting excited about. It just, the character selection is so lame. That's all. That's really all it comes down to. That's the only thing you can really say bad about this DLC so far.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Otherwise, it all looks good. I mean, I believe this is now the 5th track we know of in Pack 1. We know of F-Zero, Excitebike, the new Zelda one from the press release, Wario's Gold Mine, and now Yoshi Circuit. So at least 3 more tracks left for Pack 1 alone. And I'm guessing they'll be releasing more trailers of that pretty soon, too. So, as if we weren't busy enough.
Because I think they're coming out next month. So, if they have 8 tracks to reveal, or 7 more, they have to be releasing, more information very soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I have a feeling they'll probably release this DLC before Smash Brothers comes out. So I think it's probably going to be early to mid-November for a release.
Yep, I think you're right. Alright, well I think that wraps up our discussion here, so thanks guys for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure and like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, which you can find links to in the description below. It's a good way to keep up to date on everything we post. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain.com for more on Mario Kart 8 and other things gaming as well. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.